Well, good day everybody. Welcome back. Well, so I've been thinking about organizing a little bit. I find myself writing a lot of notes here and there about ideas for videos. And I've discovered that it's kind of gotten out of control. I've lost touch with a lot of these notes. They're scattered here and there around my office. So the other day I made a concerted effort to gather all these notes I've made about ideas for videos, get them all in one place, and then figure out how to organize them in a way that can be useful for me to plan my next videos that I'm going to be doing. So maybe you're not a video maker, maybe you're not on YouTube, but maybe you have complicated things going in your life and you need a way of organizing them. Maybe there's multiple projects going on. How do you keep track of them? Especially when the priorities change and the order of things might change. You know, I've found in order to do anything well, you have to pre-plan. And I found the better that you plan something, usually the better the results. And this is especially true with things like video making, right? That's the subject of today's video. How am I planning to do my videos? How have I done that? And how is that process changing or getting better over time? Well, obviously one way you could do it is simply to take all these video ideas and put them in a notebook. And Lord knows I have notebooks. I have Moleskine notebooks, I have Write in the Rain notebooks, I got homemade notebooks, I got all kinds of notebooks aren't being used. I certainly could do that. But the problem I have with any kind of notebook that's hard bound or permanently bound is all the data is in sequential fashion. It's like a serial data train, a single order, and therefore, you can't easily pull out an entry and reorder it or reorganize them as you want to. And so what I'd like is more of a random access filing system. It's something that's kind of portable, easy to use, easy to manage. And what I'd like ideally is like one entry per page. And this kind of leads down the road of maybe I need to start using index cards, file cards, and then have a way of binding them together. And when you start thinking about index cards and binding them together, you kind of start going back in time to the late 1990s and early 2000s when there was a thing called Get Things Done, GTD. It was a website, it was a blog, it was a movement. Probably still is going on a little bit. It's all about time management and productivity and using, at that time, mainly paper-based systems to help organize your life. And one of the offshoots of that was things like the different journaling systems that you can use to plan your day and all that. Well, one of the offshoots of the whole Get Things Done movement was a thing called the Hipster PDA. Okay, what is a PDA? Well, we're having to go back in time a little bit here for some of us, but a PDA is a personal digital assistant. PDAs were the forerunners of a lot of the things that we nowadays do on our phones or our tablets. It was an organizer, email, note taker, calculating device, maybe a little bit of a database, that kind of a thing. At the time, PDAs were very popular. This is just before the smartphone, just before the first iPhone, when you had iPods, MP3 players, and PDAs, right, and flip phones. So somebody came up with the idea of sort of a jokingly in jest idea. Let's make a very low-tech version of a PDA that sort of serves most of those functions. Let's use index cards, and I have one example right here, and we will bind it together with a little binder ring, and we can stick it in our back pocket and our hip pocket, and it becomes a hipster thing, jokingly. So I've made a number of versions over the years. This is probably one of the later ones I made. The covers, front and back covers, are made from sheet aluminum, and I put some strapping tape along the edge so that the corners wouldn't be so sharp. And then I'm just using these file cards with a ring binder. And it's durable enough, I can literally stick it in my back pocket and it will be pretty rugged and reliable, and I always have something to take notes on. And so I have a whole bunch of archived Hipster PDA notes. These start back about 2007 maybe. And I had all kinds of different ideas. Now, the way that I have archived my Hipster PDA notes is I basically archive them by date. But you could be a lot more organized about it, and you could archive them by subject matter or whatever, topic. But this is more of kind of a daily journal note-taking thing. Anyways, so that's one example of archived Hipster PDA notes. Then I have a whole nother set. This one was where my original system for keeping track of passwords for websites and other things and other accounts. This was a password Hipster PDA file. And then I even did a storyboard idea for a space movie, kind of a cartoon movie, that was ring bound, so it kind of serves the same purpose as a Hipster PDA, if you will. And a little, crude graphic comics kind of stuff. What this brings to mind is the Hipster PDA is a good way for me to organize my video ideas. And so that's what I did. All right, this is my video ideas ring-bound card file system. Each card is a separate idea for a video, and I have them organized by these tabs. So it starts out sort of alphabetical order, I hope. So Abacus video ideas, right? So there's a couple ideas for Abacus videos, and I generally will take only part of one of these cards to describe an idea, but if the project gets more complicated and I run down off the edge of the card, I can write on the backside, or I can also add additional cards for that one project as it develops itself and it gets a little more lengthy and complicated. So then the next category is the Office Supply Junkie series, and anytime I have a video idea for this, of course, I'm going to stick it in here, ring bind it, right? Then we have photography videos, general photography ideas, and there's quite a few of those for photography videos. Some of these videos, take more effort and energy to do than others, right? They take more preparation time. Then I have specifically pinhole related videos, and then this is not a vlog. I do some vlogging kind of videos. I only have one idea for that right now. And then the most of the videos I have is the typewriter video series, most of the ideas, right? There's some short ideas, and there's also some rather lengthy ones that I'm in the process of working on, but quite a few video ideas in the works there. And then we have the typing assignment series, and finally I have a few videos on ideas for zines. Then I have some spare cards here that are already hole punched, so they're ready to go. So I'm using a fairly large binding ring, so it'll hold quite a few cards, but these larger rings tend to come loose on their own. So I put a little piece of heat shrink tubing sleeve, and it can be slid off so I can open it up to put more cards in. But you want to kind of do this to keep the thing from spilling out all over the place when the ring comes undone. And I'm punching the holes using my 3-hole punch, one of the sides of it, so that all the holes get punched to the same place. So they're easy to put in and out. So the interesting thing about making all of my video ideas organized into one binder is the process of doing this became this video. Yes, that's right. Doing this is yet another video, which is kind of a meta kind of a thing, right? Well, let's go through and look at how were my video ideas organized before I went to this system. Let's take a look at that mess. Well, here's a little homemade booklet that I keep in my nightstand and write down ideas. Here's a typewriter video series idea. Visit historic and scenic places around New Mexico and do on-location typewriter videos. Okay, another idea, typewriters that don't type all that good. And then here's thoughts on why the typewriter revival. I'm interested in outdated styles of video like camcorder video. Typewriters are meant to be used for writing, not merely printing any kind of random letters to paper, but writing, like the difference between driving a car in circles in a parking lot versus going on a trip. So there's another source of ideas, just little booklets like that. And then I had all of these notes taped to my office. Nick Dvoracek, pinhole lab camera, do an interview of Nick about his pinhole photography. This one is really cool. Slow shutter pulls. A method of getting the sky to be exposed properly compared to the landscape in paper negative pinhole images, with partially pulling the shutter to dodge the sky exposure. I don't know of anybody who's ever done that or talked about that. Here's about my history with the F295 pinhole discussion forum. Make a good video. Here's another typewriter video idea, the next generation. Reviewing Vanessa Berry's zines. She's an Australian creator, very creative. Grade 2 negatives, yellow filter versus not yellow filtering. Typewriters, taking typewriters on the road. Mysterious Signs video project. Mysterious jottings, basically about this thing here. That's in the process. What else? Oh, pre-flashing lumen prints in the sun before wetting and before the in-camera exposure, and then selenium toning lumen prints to preserve the tones because they're still light sensitive. Using the 6,000 character memory of the Sharp PA 1050, I think it's 1050, as a printing Neo. That is a thermal typewriter that might work like a Neo. Okay, Jose Morel's toy typewriter. I need to make a video about that, yes. Abacus multiplication methods. Yes. I'm going to do an interview of Chris Brenson, who has the Tales from the Typewriter blog. Another guy, Chris England, who has a large collection of Hermes typewriters. I'm going to do an interview of him. The different ways that Olympia typewriters have used ribbon reversing. Early to late design changes on ribbon reversing. My friend Frode, his workflow using mechanical keyboards connected to tablets and portable devices and portable printers makes him able to do paper editing in the field, but with electronic backup. And then I have an Abacus instruction booklet I need to do a video on. Okay, well that's just a sample of a lot of different kinds of notes that I've been keeping around the office for several years. But now they're all organized much better on my video ideas folder. Ring bound, like the Hipster PDA. Now some of these videos, in order to do them, I'm going to have to build a project. Like this is a video for a large box camera, like a camera obscura with a lens and a very reflective white rear surface and a peep sight viewer on the front of the box alongside the lens, so you can look in it. You're basically looking backwards toward the back of the box. The scene that you're representing is behind you, and you'll look into the box and see a very nicely brightly lit image. So it could be used as a camera obscura, like a viewing device, but you could also aim a digital camera in there and take a photo of it, right? So it becomes more like a front projection method of recording or photographing the image from a large format lens, right? So that's one idea. It's going to take some work because, again, I have to build this. Now here is another example of an even crazier idea. I don't even know this will work. The idea is, in the wintertime when it's freezing cold, is to make or to mold lenses out of water. Okay, so single element plano-convex lens out of water. See if I can make a camera that will project an image onto like a paper negative using that system. And then if it works, what if I mix a little bit of liquid paper developer in the water, and if I could get that to freeze, I don't know what the freezing point of dilute paper developer is, but if I could get that to freeze, then I could have a ice lens that after you take the picture, you would take it indoors and let the lens melt into the camera, and the lens will develop the paper as it melts into paper developer. Well, there's an idea for a video, but in order to do the video, this is going to take a lot of work, and it's going to happen during the winter time when it's cold. So one day I was trying to find some stuff in the loft up in my garage, and stuff started falling down, and it was a very frustrating day, and I sat down and wrote this note: more stuff falling over. This would be like a this is not a vlog kind of entry. All I do is a short little 1 or 2 minute clip of stuff falling over as I'm looking for it, and that's it. That would be kind of a fun series of videos. So the typewriter video series I have the most ideas for, and I have the most videos on this channel. This is about sloppy typing, the benefits of sloppy typing, and if you're going to be doing typing with a lot of strike-through corrections, what are the rules of strike-through corrections? Hey, that'll be kind of an interesting topic. I have a few ideas about that, and I think my friend Kevin can probably help me with a few more ideas of if you have to do strike-through corrections, when is the best time to strike out the entire word versus just striking out a single letter in the word? Does it depend on whether the word is a long word or a short word? Does it depend on if it's single-spaced or wider spaced, so you have room to fit another character or line or word in between the lines, etc., etc.? So that's just an example of another typewriter video idea, and this is kind of how I piece together my videos. I just come up with a concept, and then I sort of start writing down what are the parameters that you would need to make that into something that makes kind of an idea or a story or whatever. So kind of a fun thing to do. I really like doing this kind of organizing, and certainly having now this method, right, a ring bound binder for having all my ideas in a portable little thing that I can put in my pocket and take everywhere, anywhere I go. I can sit there and think about it and flip through them and think, oh, maybe I need to do some more planning and preparation on this idea or that idea. A lot of these videos are going to need, or in the process of, background preparatory stuff going on before I can actually turn on the camera and start recording. So that's how my planning process has evolved from haphazard note-taking to a little bit more organized system that hopefully can mean that I can put out a little bit better content a little more often and have things a little more organized. Well, if this kind of interests you guys, hey, drop a note down below. I'd love to have a dialogue with you about how do you organize your thoughts. Have you done the Hipster PDA, the index card ring bound system? I think it's a great system. I like the idea that I can take each individual card out and I can organize them, treat them individually, put them in different orders or whatever. I think it's a cool system. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below, and hey, as always, stay well, stay creative, and have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.